Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the land of the thousand hills. Actually, I'm sure there are more than 1,000 hills.
Mwaramutse, tubahaye, ikaze, muri yinama yi sabukuru ya AfDB.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to Rwanda for the annual meetings of the African Development Bank, and thank you for honoring our country with your presence. Across the continent, there is a renewed sense of optimism that gives meaning to the now familiar phrase of Africa Rising.
The Africa that I want is a place where all children have an equal opportunity to be the best that they can be, to realize their full potential. No mother will have to die giving birth. Everybody will have an equal chance to have education, and we'll have all sorts of enterprises run by young people, old people, for the benefit of the continent.
Meetings that bring together Africans and non-Africans to discuss about the future prospects of the continent are almost always welcome. And the ADB is the premier African Development Bank development organization. So, of course, when we meet and we discuss the problems of the continent, that can only help but foster the development of the continent.
Where we see Africa in the future, I mean, more women doing more things, more magnified. We believe that it shouldn't be gender-based. We're all equally able to do, stuff like this, or even better and do bigger, and have our items not just in Rwanda, but also outside Rwanda.
As a business person, I expect tangible outputs that will help improve trade in Africa and help propel our continent forward.
I want the Africa that is perceived globally as an attractive investment destination.
The kind of transformation we hope to come out of this particular meeting is a roadmap of where do we want to go. Not tomorrow, not 1 year, not 5 years, but over the next 50 years, to respond to the needs and the aspirations of the African people.
I'd like to see the next 50 years of Africa, first of all, deliver inclusive growth. I think this is absolutely critical. Secondly, make sure the young people, who are now the majority of our populations, be able to have jobs, access to education, quality health, and be able to be productive citizens in the coming years.
And I'm happy to say that there cannot be any better country to have this kind of discussions than Rwanda itself. We have a country that's being transformed at a very difficult moment in its history. But over the last 20 years, I think this is a model to be very proud of. And in my case, sort of being from a country that's still in conflict, or trying to come out of conflict, I would say this is an occasion also to learn from the country itself, but also from, throughout the 50+ African countries that are trying to improve growth, improve sustainable growth, inclusive growth. And I think that is a very serious debate to have after 50 years of the African Development Bank.
I've been counting the number of meetings about Africa, on Africa, Africa Rising, and I've stopped counting. I think it is time that we begin to have meetings and sessions that don't simply give us their diagnosis, I think we can all agree on the diagnosis. We need now to agree where is the medicine, how will it be taken, who will give it, and so on.
Africa is a place of miracles.
I don't think it is going to be enough for one country in our continent to do so well when others are doing so badly. And we really hope that then at the end of the day, things will be fine across the continent. It just won't happen.
Yet we talk about integration. We want Africans to work in other African countries. But one of the issues we face is that traveling within Africa is really difficult.
We will not have integration. We will not be able to move from one part to another without securing the continent first. And this is right now on our table, as leaders, one of the most challenging, problem that we face.
There are steps being made. There is good news that is coming out. I can tell this forum, and I have in this panel President Museveni and President Kagame, that because of that realization, goods now coming from Mombasa to Kigali take 6 days. It used to take 22 days. I can also say goods leaving Mombasa for Kampala now take 4 days. It used to take 14 days.
For the last 50 years, we have come a long way. And this is something that people do not recognize. We have made great efforts. No continent on this planet has done in the last 50 years what we Africans have done. Now we need more ambition, and we need more political will to serve that ambition. Thank you.
Thank you, President Bongo Ndimba. You really surprised me. I didn't know you spoke English so well.
Well, you didn't ask me.
Building transparency so that you get credible companies that actually are going to be investing in Africa for the long term, rather than fly-by-night companies that come and then flip a contract. And so leadership is vision of the future and the detailed supervision of the tax and the investment process and the transparency which actually make a difference.
Is strong leadership enough, or it is only a precursor to a leadership that is capable of constructing strong institutions for service delivery? So really we want to make sure that, as we discuss this, it is well understood that you cannot be an effective leader, no matter how beautiful the vision is, without the delivery mechanism, without the legs, which are the institutional construction. You need both. But let's hear what the delegates say.
Where you have domestic institutions in a continent, those domestic institutions usually believe in the continent before others do. And so African institutions have an absolutely critical role to play in this regard.
If you want people to believe in the future, to believe in your vision, you need to be able to show that today you are able to translate in very precise acts and actions what you are doing.
You can see politics, governance, leadership. And most of these conflicts, they are like wounds. So if you do not attend to them in time, they fester and they become gangrene.
African leaders, we don't need to be invited anywhere to go and address our problems.
The role of leaders is to take initiatives to try to deal with problems as they arise.
I really do think that when we want to discuss this issue of ending conflict and building peace, we have to focus on the matter to which the report refers, of the politics.
We believe the convening power of the bank to enable discussion of a broader set of issues is equally important to what we do.
If I'm asked to say what really will be at the beginning and end of getting rid of conflicts in Africa. I would say leadership, leadership, and leadership.
Allow me, Mr. President, to give special thanks to our leaders for taking time out of their very busy schedule to give guidance to this bank. This shows real ownership of the bank by our leaders.
My name is Ashish J. Thacker. I'm the founder of the Mara Group and the Mara Foundation. I was a refugee, I'm a school dropout, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, an astronaut, and a young African. The youth are not the leaders for tomorrow, we're the leaders for today.
My name is Jean-Pierre Nyodusenga. I am a fresh graduate from Carnegie Mellon University in Rwanda.
My name is Giovanni Nhabwoba. I'm the general manager of K-Lab, an innovation hub based here in Kigali.
Are you a young person?
Yes, I am.
I will speak from the youth perspective. So I think that we must admit that Africa has done enormous improvements. Africans are more concerned about their futures. They're more connected thanks to technology, like you were saying. And that has helped us. It was an enabler to raise our voices, basically.
What I wish for Africa is one love.
Just good life. Umoja.
Education.
Jam.
Zukwi. Tolobi kimia po libota ya Afrika ekende liboso etombwama.
A succession plan for Africa.
Usambaz.
Obugaga.
My message to the youth, if I can say, if that's your question, it will be a youth that is more responsible, a youth that is really concerned about its future, a youth that is more concerned about its environment, and who's ready to understand that we have to collectively work together. We really have to fill this gap, and that wouldn't be able if we don't understand this. And I think that we're on the right way. We're on the right way.